Hi everybody, it's me, Willow, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm back with another video for all of you guys to enjoy, and today we are going to be doing a much needed updated Oscar predictions. Now that the nominations have passed for the Oscars and we know who are in the categories, I thought it would be a good time to break down who I think is going to take home each golden statue for each category. So I did do some prediction videos back in like September and October, and I think I did one in November as well, maybe. But then, time kind of got away from me and the award season picked up, movies picked up, and I just completely forgot to do predictions. So I thought I'd do a dedicated video just for the Oscars, and I thought I'd break down every single category for you guys. So this might be a little bit longer of a video. I also have an extra friend here. I have Albert, my kitty cat. You want to say hello? He is here to join us. We'll see how long he lasts, but I thought we would start with the shorts and let's dive right in because this is going to be a long video. If I'm being honest, I am not very educated on the shorts. I still need to watch Fantasy Film Ball's short video and maybe I'll get a little bit more of an insight on the nominees, but I also have to watch them all because I've only seen, I think, like one, which is in the animated shorts. So for best live action short, I have The Singers in first place, just because I've been hearing good buzz about that one. In second place, I have Two People Exchanging Saliva, just because of the title. I feel like it's very eye-catching, and I feel like that's what happened last year with like We Are Robots. I feel like that was also a very catching title, so I have that in second place. But Your Stain, again, another kind of like catching, daunting title, so I've put that there. A Friend of Dorothy's, I feel like some people in the Academy might like this, other people might not be gravitated towards it as much. I think it's like an older friendship, like with an older person and a younger person kind of coming together in those friendships. So be interested to see, if many people are interested in that. And then Jane Austen's period drama, I just put that on the bottom. I feel like that could be interchangeable with A Friend of Dorothy's or Butcher's Stain, just because maybe Jane Austen gives it a little bit more recognition, and some people who are interested in Jane Austen will go and be gravitated towards it. So be interesting to see what happens with this category. I definitely need to get on watching these ones. Are you going to announce animated with me? We're going to talk about it. So for animated short, Butterfly, this is the one short I have seen and I really enjoy it. I feel like it's based on a true story. The animation is very beautiful and it's pretty powerful for how short it is. So I've been first. The Girl Who Cried Pearls, I feel like, has been getting some good press from what I've been hearing. So I have that in second. Retirement Plan in third. The Three Sisters, I feel like, is a pretty good title and might be like gravitated towards some of the female Academy members. So have that there in fourth, and then I have Forever Green in fifth. But again, only one I've seen is Butterfly, so I really do need to get on this. Feel like it's not super accurate, but I did want to include the shorts in here. And then documentary short, I have All Empty Rooms in first place. I feel like that one's pretty powerful, talking about, you know, young children being lost to school shooting, I believe. I do have to give this one a watch. It's on Netflix now, so I'm going to give it a watch probably sometime this week. In second place, I have Armed Only with a Camera, The Life and Death of Brent Renaud. Again, I feel like this one's going to be very personal for some people in the Academy, specifically in the documentary branch and also journalists. So I think this one is going to be pretty poignant and might, get a lot of votes from emotional and sympathy. I have Perfectly a Strangeness in third. This is on Crave now, so I have to give it a watch. I have The Devil is Busy. Have to give that one a watch. I think this is about a abortion or some sort of reproductive rights. So I'll be interested to give this one a watch when I have the chance to. And then have children no more were and are gone in the last place just because I don't know anything about this one. So really do need to educate myself on the shorts before we get into March. And Albert lasted just the shorts. Super funny, but we're gonna move on to Best Original Song. Of course, in first place, I have Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters. I think this one is a shooing at this point, unless we have an upset with Sinners. I'd lie to you being able to sneak into there, but I really do think Golden is just, it takes it home. It's won everything so far, so I have that in there. I feel like I really don't even need to discuss it that much anymore, but definitely have I Lied to You in second place from Sinners. Then I have Train Dreams, and I have Dear Me, then I have Sweet Dreams of Joy. So I feel like this one's not that hard. It's definitely Golden's to take. For best score, also very similar. I have Sinners, Ludwig Göransson in first place. This is his to take as well. He's been winning basically every single score category so far this award season. So I think it's his eschewing. It was a very brilliant score written by him. So I would be very devastated if he doesn't take home this Oscar. He's definitely the future of music. I also have One Battle After Another from Johnny Greenwood in second place because I do think that's also a very strong score. Lots of memorable moments from like the trailer, and then we see it throughout in the film as well. So very memorable. Then I have Hamnet from Max Reichner just because he was able to reutilize, one of those monumental songs that's been used in like Arrival and a lot of other poignant cinema and be able to make it his own. And then he had other beautiful pieces throughout Hamnet as well. So I have him in third, and then Frankenstein, Alexandra Desplat in fourth, and have Begonia, Jerkskin, Fredericks in fifth. And honestly, I feel like I could kind of switch them because I really did like the score in Begonia, but I thought the score in Frankenstein was pretty solid as well. For best sound, I have F1 in first place. I feel like they're going to give F1 something. I'm pretty sure it has won this at some other branch as well. So I have them in first place, but I wouldn't be surprised if Sinner maybe takes this as well. So I have them in second, but my big, I'd be really happy if Surratt takes it home. That would be like an incredible win. Like I wouldn't be upset that Sinner didn't take home another one, or like One Battle After Another isn't looked over like in this one, over rewarded. I would be so happy. It'd be like such an unexpected and amazing win if Surratt takes this category home. So I'm kind of, secretly pining for Surratt. I still have to see it. I've heard amazing things about the sound specifically from this film and the fact that it's got a couple nominations here. Obviously, lots of people in the Academy did recognize the film and do really enjoy it. So I have to see it still, but I'd be really, really excited if maybe this one gets a lot more, buzz in this category. Best visual effects, I think Avatar Fire and Ash will probably take this one home. Basically, it's only when it had costumes as well to be nominated. I think that was its only other nomination, if I'm thinking off the top of my head, and it's definitely not going to win costumes. So I think Avatar Fire and Ash will take this one home. But honestly, like, we could see a rise in Sinners as well. Like, just, I feel like we've been thinking Sinners underdog all season, even though, I feel like I've been really pining for Sinners to get a lot of accolades and take them home during the award season since, the beginning, since I've been talking about like in September and October after One Battle After Another came out, a lot of people started to push Sinners to the side. I'm like, guys, let's just wait. And then, Sinners overperforms at I wouldn't say overperforms necessarily, but gets the most nominations ever at the Oscars. So I feel like we could see Sinners slowly move up in this category. So we did have this really cool post on social media the other day be put out to kind of show some of the visual effects, specifically with Rennick's character and his face, and how they're able to do like a mold and CGI and stuff like that. So be very interested to see if Sinners kind of moves its way up. But I do have F1 and The Lost Bus before it, just because these are more technical films. That's what they're more based on, whereas Sinners is kind of an all-encompassing type of film. F1, the visual effects are definitely, top notch in that film. And The Lost Bus, I haven't seen that one yet either. That's another film I haven't seen out of the nominations, but apparently it looks very, very similar to the Palisade Fires, and it's gives a very realistic effect. So I do have them there, and they have been consistently nominated by the visual effects guilds. So I wouldn't be surprised, if people are very impressed by that one and they keep voting for it. So we will see what happens with Sinners if it rises. And if Avatar, keeps going down, and I feel like this one could be different from what I'm predicting right now. All right, here are some of my favorite categories: best makeup and hairstyling. Definitely think Frankenstein's probably going to take this home. Some fantastic makeup in this film with Jacob Elordi as the creature definitely brings him to life as this, creation from Victor Frankenstein, this child who's basically been abandoned. So very, very interesting, kind of how he like molds as well, and his hair grows and he becomes more of his own person throughout the film and as the years go by. So very interesting. I also think the hairstyling with Mia Goth and her wig is also very interesting, and same with Oscar Isaac, and also with Christopher Waltz's character and how he has like the hairpiece at one point. I thought that was pretty interesting. So definitely a shooing for hair and makeup. Underneath that, we have Sinners, of course, again with the visual effects playing directly in. We have the makeup with Rennick and the vampires. So I have them in second place just because I've been seeing them advertise it more in the for your considerations. So I wouldn't be surprised, if we see more talk for Sinners in hair and makeup. I have Smashing Machine in third, just because the makeup artist on that, who did like the prosthetics, is very well known in the Academy. So have them there in third. The movie, we got no other nominations except for hair and makeup. So obviously people respect the team behind the Smashing Machines hair and makeup and the transformation for Dwayne The Rock Johnson. In fourth place, I have Kohoko, the Japanese kind of like drag opera film. I believe that's kind of what it's about. Have yet to see this one as well, but apparently has some very beautiful makeup in it. And I have yet to see it, so I'll have to judge it when I see it, but have it there. And then in last place, I have The Ugly Stepsister, and I just have it here because it's body horror. And I don't know, maybe the Academy is a little bit more accepting because it did have it here in the nomination, and we have had The Substance last year. So we'll see, with The Ugly Stepsister. I definitely don't think it's going to win, but I'd be interested to see where it ranks here in the category later in the season. Another film I've yet to see, it is on Crave now, so I'm going to definitely give it a watch very soon. I think this one's going to be one that's going to be difficult for me to watch. But I know the Garage Awards, I love his channel, shout him out. He said that The Ugly Stepsister was his favorite film from 2025. So definitely something I have to put on my must watch list. And I do try and watch every single nominated film before the Oscars premiere in March. So it will be under my belt before then. Another one of my favorite categories is costume design. Again, we have Frankenstein here, Kate Hawley, some incredible costumes here, playing directly into the narrative of the film, kind of with like the skeletal pieces that we see in some of Mia Goth's character, also some of the like insects kind of reflected in her costumes, also her wedding dress and how it kind of represents the mummy and like the bandages. Very, very interesting. I also love Victor's costume costumes. I also think the creature has a very distinct look as well. And I also love the actor Felix's characters, costumes, very, very intrinsic. Love this kind of gothic Edwardian vibe. Very, very big fan. Definitely think it's going to take it home. Second place, Sinners. Closely behind Ruth E. Carter. She is one of the most renowned and awarded costume designers in the biz, and I do think there are a couple of distinct looks in the Sinners film, specifically the two twins and their different styles and how they are, kind of red and blue, the angel and the devil character, and how they're symbolized in the costumes. Also, kind of the dandyism, also playing into the 2025 Met Gala theme. So, very interesting, how this kind of all plays together. Definitely would be interested to see what happens with this film. I have Hamnet in third place from Magagosi Turnskia. Totally butchered their name. Very, very sorry. But I've been seeing lots of promotion for the costumes for this film on social media and for your consideration. So have them there. For Marty Supreme, Miyoka Belzoli, totally butchered that name as well. In fourth place, because I really did like the costumes, we're kind of doing some of the Japanese costumes as well from that culture, the New York Americanized costumes from the 50s. I like the different, cultural comparisons when we're in Japan during the tournament with Endo and Marty. So, very, very interesting. I also think we have some more interesting costumes with Gwyneth Paltrow's character as well, the more lavish, extreme costumes. So, big fan of that film and the costumes in it, specifically the costumes. And then we have Avatar Fire and Ash, just because I feel like a lot of those are CGI, visual effects, motion capture. So, I put that at the bottom. For production design, surprise, surprise, I have Frankenstein once again here. Tamara DeVary and Shane Vu. Sorry, guys, I'm very bad with names. I'm not going to say it anymore. You guys know I'm not very great with my pronunciation, but again, such a grand film. I loved all of the different, foyers we were in, the ship, the cabin, lots of different locations being directly taken out of the book and being put on the screen. And all of these were built by hand. You can see some of them on the Pinewood Studios social media and how they're hand sculpting icebergs that the ship was trapped in, and incredible. I hate how the VFX kind of ruin it in the post, but very, very impressive. Definitely think they're probably going to take this home, with closely followed behind Sinners as well. Hannah Bleckler and Monique Champagne. Definitely think with the whole barn, like kind of, juke joint, definitely very interesting. Also with the under layer of it being a slaughterhouse. I think that was fantastically done. I also love the design of the town and how we have like the white shops and the black shops, and how we have our characters of Asian descent kind of being able to amalgamate in, kind of a social pass here, in that history being divulged in the production design is very, very fascinating. And one of my favorite things about Sinners, I just think it's so educational, and it's just being oozed into every single part of this film, not just the narrative, but also the costumes, the production design, the score, everything. So very, very interesting, and I wouldn't be surprised, if they took it home over Frankenstein. But I do think Frankenstein has this one in the bag, most likely. Then I have Hamnet, Marty Supreme, and One Battle After Another. Honestly, I really do like One Battle After Another's production design. I think going back and forth between all the different locations, like the dojo, and I also think the school, like the bathroom, and also the army base, and the weed nuns, like all these different things, I think are very, very interesting locations. Also, like the night shot with like the skateboarders going on the rooftops, very interesting production design. But I feel like not a lot of people have been talking about it, so that's why I kind of put it at the bottom. But who knows? It really could rise in the ranks. But I do think Frankenstein is the one to talk about in this category. So I have it in first place. Best editing, I have one battle after another. Andy Jurgensen here. I'll be interested to see if maybe Sinners, Michael P. Shavner is able to push him out of the way with this film. I feel like this is actually kind of a competitive category, if I'm being honest, because I think F1, Stephen Minero, and Patrick J. Smith is also a competitive film for editing. Same with Marty Supreme, Ronald Bronstein, Josh Safdie, and also Sentimental Value, Oliver Belg Cochier. Like, very, very interesting editing from that film, specifically the scene with like the daughter and the fathers all molding in like the like black and white transition type thing of being like a super emotional scene, very artistic. I also think the scene of like the flashback of Stellan Skarsgård's character and kind of learning more about him and the different editing choices they make in that scene is also very intriguing. So I wouldn't count out Sentimental Value just because specifically I'm a big fan of the editing in that film, but I do think this is a competitive category. So I'd be interested in what you guys think about editing down below. But I do have one battle after another in first place as of right now. Best cinematography, I have Train Dreams, Adolfo Valesso. I believe he's been winning and a couple other awards this season, so I have him there. I feel like I could be wrong. I feel like Sinners or One Battle After Another could be the winner of this one, but I just have Train Dreams there because I really did love the cinematography in it. But I wouldn't be surprised, if one of the heavy hitters is able to take it home. Specifically, Sinners with Autumn Gerald Arquois. I think she is working with Ryan Coogler on a lot of his work in the past. She's also a female cinematographer, the only female cinematographer in this category. So, be very amazing if she won. Also, think Michael Boom from One Battle After Another gives some very interesting cinematography in that film. Same with Frankenstein, Marty Supreme. Like, all of these films have very great cinematography, but I have Train Dreams with Adolfo in first place as of right now. We will see, if I shift things back to Sinners or One Battle After Another, because that has been dominating my predictions for the majority of the award season, but I decided to move Train Dreams into first place. So we'll see if I'm going to be correct and if the underdog is able to take first place or if they will, award this to Sinners or One Battle After Another. Animated feature, I think this one is pretty predictable. I think we all know that K-pop Demon Hunters is going to take this one home. It's basically in the bag. They've won everything up to this, so they're going to take it home, I think. I also have Arco in second place, Zootopia 2 in third place, Little Amelie or the character of Rain in fourth, and Elio in fifth place. Even though I loved Elio and I loved Little Amelie, I've still yet to see Arco in Zootopia 2, so I can't rank them really personally, but I know people have been really liking Arco and Zootopia too, so I put them there over the other G Kids and Disney productions, even though I like those ones better. But K-pop Teen Hunters just take it home for Netflix. Obviously, they have this one in the bag. For best documentary feature, I have The Perfect Neighbor in first place. I definitely think this one is going to be the winner. This one has a lot of buzz. It's also the only one I've seen, so I can't really judge. This is the category I need to work on the most. I haven't seen 4 out of the 5 here, so maybe I'm kind of biased putting The Perfect Neighbor, but from the consensus of other pundits, I've been hearing Perfect Neighbor is probably going to be in first place. I do have Mr. Nobody Against Putin in second place, just with the social, political area, socio-political sphere right now. I feel like that one could have a lot of strong votes towards it. The Alabama Solution, I've heard good things about it. It's on Crave, so I have to give it a watch. Cutting Through Rocks, I don't know anything about it, and same with Come See Me in the Good Light. I don't know anything about them, so it's kind of hard for me to judge, but I definitely have to get on top of this category. This is the category I have to watch the most this month before March. I got to get on top of it in the month of February, as well with international feature. I haven't seen 2 out of the 5 out of this category, but I haven't seen The Secret Agent, which I have in first place. I definitely think Brazil is going to be able to spike this one to the top over earlier, stronger competitors out of Cannes, Sentimental Value, and It Was Just an Accident. Both really strong out of the gates at Cannes and have had really strong campaigns up to January. And I would say Sentimental Value has been able to kind of regain some of its campaign after kind of quieting down at the end of 2025, but it's been able to regain some of that recognition from people. But It Was Just an Accident is completely dead, and it's just, like, devastating to me because it's one of my favorite films of the year. I think it's just so brilliantly crafted, and it makes me sad that people aren't recognizing it anymore, but have that kind of in the middle because it has been really strong at the beginning of the year, but like I said, it's kinda dead now. Surat, I feel like could rise with more people seeing it. I have not seen this film, like I said, and then The Voice of Hin Rajah obviously is kind of a political, controversial film for some people in the Academy, even though this one is just kind of telling a story about this poor girl who was murdered, and they're just trying to, show the people behind this, the first responders who have, had to live on with this horrible tragedy of them not being able to have as much control in the situation and save this poor girl's life. And again, this is a film I have yet to see. It's playing at the TIFF Light Box right now. I hope it's not over yet because I still haven't been able to see it. But Surat, The Voice of Hin Rajah, films I really, really need to see. Very important for me to see them. They are at the bottom of my list. But I do think Surat could possibly move up. Voice of Hin Rajah, I just don't think it's had the same momentum as the other films in this category, but we'll see if maybe for your consideration, if it's able to gain a little bit more nods. Like, I know they've been doing a lot of screenings with celebrities, like hosting. Like, I know Lena Dunham and Isla Glazier have both done screenings for the film for your consideration. So I'll be interested to see if this one gets a little bit more recognition, a little bit more marketing. But I do think the nomination is kind of the win in itself. We have our new category, which is Best Casting, the first new category in quite a while for 2026. We're going to have Best Casting. I have Sinners because it won Best Ensemble at the Golden Globes, and I'll be interested to see what happens at SAG. I think this one will probably be influential towards this casting category and the voting towards it. Very interesting. We don't really know exactly what's going to happen with this one. I do think it was a little predictable, a couple of these, but I do think like The Secret Agent was kind of like a surprise, very happy win. I was very happy about it. I do think it's a very intriguing mix of some non-actors, some very big actors, and some actors who have had like a long history in Latin cinema, Brazilian cinema. So I'd be very interested to see what happens with this one. Same with Marty Supreme. A lot of like non-actors kind of been brought into this film for their first roles. Again, a couple legacy. We have Gwyneth Paltrow kind of making her comeback with this film. We have like a newbie with Odessa Zion in there. We also have Timothy Chalamet, who's really trying to make his name as a movie star. So very interesting with Mari Supreme, one battle after another. Can also be kind of said with that because we have a couple of unknown people like Chase Infinity and some unknown people who kind of work on every single project with PTA. He brings them along into each of his films. He has, Regina Hall, which has a very, very interesting, story behind her joining the film and how they were neighbors and they just kind of came together and he offered her to be the role. So very, very intriguing. Of course, Leonardo DiCaprio, a big star in Hollywood. We have Benicio del Toro, Sean Penn, another huge star in the Academy, 2 Oscar wins already. So be very interested to see what happens with this category. But I think Sinners will probably take it home, but I think the SAG Best Ensemble will tell us a lot. So waiting for that to really make a definitive choice. But after Golden Globes Best Ensemble, I feel like the Sinners will probably take it. Best Adapted Screenplay, a shoe-in, One Ball After Another, PTA, obviously, is gonna go to him. I feel like I don't know about this Hamnet kind of resurgence. A lot of people, after the Golden Globes were a little worried about Hamnet. But I feel like Paul Thomas Anderson, he's gonna get his screenplay award. So yeah, I have one bell after another, and I'm trying not to be too shaky on that. After Hamnet, we have Chloe Zhao, Maggie O'Farrell, and then in third place, I have Frankenstein, Guillermo del Toro, and then I think Begonia and Train Dreams just don't have as much promotion. They both are best pictures, but I don't think Begonia has won anything, and Train Dreams is really only strong, I think, in the technical categories. So yeah, one battle after another and Hamnet are definitely battling it out. But I think one battle after another, gotta take it home, right? It's gotta take it home. And then I think the same thing can be said here in Best Original Screenplay. I have Sinners Ryan Coogler in first place. Like, they have to give him his Oscar. Like, come on. If they're not going to give it to him in director and, the producers get it for Best Picture, they have to give it to him in original screenplay. Um, I feel like I'm pretty confident he's going to take it home with just how many nominations they received and with like the controversy that's kind of surrounding Josh Safdie being resurged from the 2023 article of what went down on Good Times set. I would really suggest you guys looking into that if you haven't heard about it. I wonder if that's going to hurt his chances because I feel like a lot of people were putting him up as a really strong, runner up for Marty Supreme, Ronald Bronstein, Josh Safdie. So I'd be interested to see if that little controversy that's being brought up again and people are starting to acknowledge would hurt his chances. I also think Sentimental Value, like I said, is kind of getting another resurgence since January with Joachim Trier, Escalvat. Love that screenplay. Got to see it a second time in January, and it's such a brilliant film. I really did enjoy it. It was just an accident. Jafar Pahani, I was hoping months ago that he would take this category home, even though I do love Sinners, favorite film of the year, love Ryan Coogler. I was hoping, just Jafar would get something. He would get not like awarded for his bravery, for his craftsmanship, for his willingness to be an artist and stand up and speak out. And I think that's exactly what artists are supposed to do. And again, very devastated that it was just an accident is really being brushed to the side here. I also think Blue Moon, Robert Capello, is a really strong screenplay as well. Really great, like dining room draw in, kind of one scener, being set in like that one location. I do think it's probably the weakest out of all of the nominations, but I do think it's very strong. But I do think Sinners is going to take this home, and I hope they give Ryan Coogler his Oscar. Alright guys, it's been a long video, but we've made it to the acting categories finally. In Best Supporting Actor, I have Stellan Skarsgård for Sentimental Value in first place. After his Golden Globes win, I really do think he is going to take this home, just because I think Benicio del Toro and Sean Penn are probably going to vote split. I feel like Sean Penn, even though he was the front runner at the very beginning of the award season, he's been coming up empty-handed. So I feel like his trajectory has really plummeted, and I'd be interested to see what happens at the BAFTAs and also at the SAG Awards and see, who takes it home. I do think I don't know. Stellan does have a huge legacy behind him, so I'd be very interested to see if his fellow actors award him at SAG. But I feel like Benicio kind of has the attitude for a SAG win, and Stellan has the attitude for a BAFTA win. So I'll be interested to see if Stellan gets both, if he gets one, or what happens, you know? So I have Stellan in first, Benicio in second. I have Jacob in third for his Critics' Choice win, and then I have Delroy Lindo in fourth because he's with Sinners, the most nominated film, so gotta put him in there. And then Sean Penn at the bottom just because he's been coming up empty-handed. But I do think he still gives a really strong performance, and if people rewatch the film and if they give him a little bit more of a strong for your consideration push, because I feel like Sean just doesn't really care. He's been there, done that. He has his Oscars. He could have another one, but he's just not really pining and campaigning for it compared to Benicio, and that's fine. So I'd be interested. I'm very, very, very interested in this category. It's one of my favorite categories for the 2025-2026 Oscar season. I've been watching it since the beginning. I feel like so much could happen. I feel like a surprise could happen. So I'm in tuned to SAG and BAFTA to see what happens with this. And very similar with supporting actress. I feel like it's such an interesting trajectory with this. We've been thinking for such a long time. Amy Madigan, it's sweep. And then she misses at Golden Globes. She doesn't even get nominated at BAFTA. So very, very interesting. I think Tiana Taylor is probably going to take it home. She has a really strong film behind her. Again, Amy Madigan, she doesn't have any other nominations for her film besides herself, and she's been kind of losing her win trajectory. So very happy that she got the Critics' Choice because I do think she gives a incredible performance as Aunt Gladys. But I do think Tiana Taylor will probably take it home with one of the more traditional supporting performances and how it lingers throughout the entire film, and her presence really kind of pursues the enticing incidents and the revelations and the passions of everybody in the film for the rest of like the 2 hour duration. So do you think she'll probably take it home? She's been in the industry for a really, really long time. She has a lot of good connections. So do think she'll probably take it. I do have Wumi Masako in second place just because I think she's probably going to take the BAFTA. I think she'll probably take it. She did take the Gotham Award, and she's been nominated in a couple other places. She's been snubbed at another, or did she get snubbed at BAFTA? No, she's nominated at BAFTA. I almost thought she's British. They have to nominate her. She's British, so I think she'll probably take home BAFTA. But again, Inga Iv's daughter Lilius, I think she gives a really strong, very quiet performance as well, very nuanced. And if people watch Sentimental Value again, they might give her a win. But I don't think so. I don't think it's very likely at this point in the season. But I do think she might be a little bit stronger than Amy, even though I do have her kind of lower. Um, but Amy does have the win at Critics' Choice, so I don't know. I'm a little hesitant to put Inga a little bit above her, but I do think Tiana is probably going to take this category home. Alrighty, best actor. This is a category I could talk about. I don't know what's going to happen. I think it's going to be Timothy Chalamet. Um, I'm interested to see what happens at SAG and BAFTA again. He won SAG last year for a complete unknown, so I feel like they're probably inclined to give him the SAG again, the actor again. But I feel like his marketing, his For Your Consideration, has really died down, and he's been taking more of the humble route. He's like, oh, okay, maybe I should put my little shenanigans back in the bag. So I'd be interested to see. I feel like he's probably not going to get the BAFTA, but maybe he'll have a clean sweep. I'm really not sure what's happening with this category. Timothy Chalamet, I do really like his performance. I would I would probably hold it over Ethan Hawke, even though I really do like Ethan Hawke's performance. Um, the Secret Agent, Wagner Moura, is definitely my favorite performance. And then I would say probably Sinners, Michael B. Jordan, and then Leonardo DiCaprio, one battle after another. And then it's kind of, I just think Timothy Chalamet, Marty Supreme, and Ethan Hawke, Blue Moon are such completely different performances. But I did not love Marty Supreme, the film. So this is just an interesting category for me because it's probably going to go to somebody who is not my top pick in the category, which happened last year with Adrian Brody. Should have been Coleman Domingo. So again, Michael B. Jordan, like I'll be interested to see like if he's able to gain a little bit more momentum. Obviously, Wagner Moura won um offset with Timothy at Golden Globes. So I don't think he's probably going to win, but never doubt Brazil, never doubt them. So very interesting category similar to best supporting actor. I think the best supporting categories, both of them, and the best actor category, very very interesting. I feel like it could be very predictable or we could get a really big surprise. And I'm kind of more inclined to surprise. Okay, guys, we are in the home stretch for Best Actress. I think we all know it's going to go to Jessie Buckley for Hamnet. She's been having a clean sweep so far. She's definitely winning the BAFTA, and I think she's probably definitely winning the SAG award, the actor. I do think it's going to be Jesse though, because I feel like this is a very actors film, whole actors, William Shakespeare kind of put into it. I feel like people are really appreciative of the level of craftsmanship that she goes in, the emotion that she has in some of the very specific like the birthing scenes and the scenes where she loses her son and the globe scene at the end. So I definitely think Jessie Buckley will probably take it home. I feel like Rose Byrne was a little bit more of a critic's choice compared to like an actor's choice, but I do think Rose Byrne's the one to upset if she's to take home, SAG, you know? But I do think Jessie Buckley is going to take home the Oscar. I feel like it's not really much up for discussion. I have Renata Reinsve in third place, Emma Stone in fourth, and I have Kate Hudson in fifth. Like, I just feel like there's not a lot to talk about with this category. I feel like it's pretty locked with Jessie Buckley. It's basically 95% locked, and I feel like Rose Byrne has a 5% chance of winning. But I feel like that 5% chance gets smaller and smaller each week goes by, So, yeah, Best Actress, I feel like that's probably the most predictable category at this point, the easiest one to make your money off. So put your butts in now for Jessie Buckley. For Best Director, I think it's going to go to PTA. I think it's going to go to One Battle After Another. He is a shoo-in, like he's been working in cinema and Hollywood for such a long time, really about his craftsmanship, really about the art, the authorship. He's really dived into all different types of eras and types of productions, big and small. And I think this is a really grand and fantastic film. Like, we don't have films like this too often. Nowadays in Hollywood, I feel like we don't have this grandiose film that they used to make in like the golden age. And I think that's what One Battle After Another is. And I would be really, really happy if PTA takes it home. I think the only person to kind of upset is Sinners with Ryan Coogler. This is why I think he's probably going to get Best Original Screenplay, so he gets his Oscar. But this is the other place where they could award it to him, and especially with the love that the Academy is giving to Sinners, like I I feel like it's probably predictable for PTA. He's been winning all the director awards so far, but I don't want to count out Ryan Coogler. Like, he was out here in March telling us about the aspect ratios of his film and how they're going to be changing during the IMAX screening. So like 70 millimeter, like come on, like he is also dedicated to the craft. He's been working for a really long time with like the same team, like Ludwig, Michael B, Ruth, like he is really dedicated to his craftsmanship as a creative, as a director, as the team captain. So, I wouldn't be devastated. I would be very, very happy if Ryan Coogler takes home Best Director. I think it's very deserving. So I just think this category is so competitive because also Hamnet, Chloe Zhao, I think it's also a very beautiful film. Again, I feel like she's in third place just because Hamnet, after the Golden Globes win, has been able to gain a lot of more momentum and is much more strong. I would put Joachim Trier technically over Chloe Zhao personally in my rankings just because I love Sentimental Value, especially after that second time. And I think his direction is really underappreciated in that film. It's just so seamless and beautiful and very intrinsic and quiet yet outspoken. So yeah, I wouldn't be devastated, if Yoham takes it home either. The only person I'd be unhappy with is if Josh Safdie takes it home, just because I just feel so many things about the Safdie brothers right now, and I'm not gonna get into it. I'm gonna get into it in my Marty Supreme marketing video that should come out in February. Fingers crossed. I said that in December the video was gonna come out, but the video is coming out. It's gonna come out before the Oscars. It's gonna come out sometime in February. So I'm gonna talk more about my feelings about Josh Safdie and Benny Safdie in that video. So I'll hold my tongue for now. But PTA, Ryan Coogler, they're the ones to beat, guys. They're the ones to beat. All right, we made it to the final and most important category after such a long video. Thank you guys for sticking around. If you guys made it to Best Picture to discuss it with me, please leave all your comments down below. And while you're at it, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed my discussion and predictions for the 2026 Oscars. I'm so excited. It's only a couple weeks away. And I think One Battle After Another is probably going to take this home. Again, I feel like Sinners is very close behind, and I feel like it's One Battle After Another was like locked. I feel like a lot of people were like, Sinners is it's not gonna take it home. It's a blockbuster film. It's a vampire film. Blah blah blah. All this bullshit. And most nominated film at the Academy Awards ever. So who's talking now? So I do think Sinners is going to give One Battle After Another a run for its money during for your consideration campaigning over the next couple weeks while voting is open. I've been seeing some promotion for Sinners, and I think Warner Brothers is just going to be very, very happy this year because I think they're probably going to get the big one. They're going to take home the Best Picture. I think it's probably a shoo-in for Warner Brothers, but we do have Focus Features lingering in the background, ready to jump in with Hamnet after their win at the Golden Globes, and we will see how well it does at the BAFTAs. I think BAFTAs is definitely, Hamnet's strong suit for a couple more awards wins for the rest of the awards season. So we will see. I, I don't think Hamnet's necessarily that strong compared to Sinners and One Battle After Another. I do think Hamnet is a little bit more traditional Oscar win, whereas One Battle After Another and Sinners is trying to lean us more into the future of filmmaking and what we want to see on the screen and what type of stories we want to be told. And I think One Battle After Another or Sinners and that win, whoever it goes to, is really going to cement that at the end of the night. And this is the type of stories we want. This is where we want to move forward in Hollywood. And so I definitely think One Battle After Another, Sinners. I have one battle. It's so hard. Before this video, I was debating because I definitely do think Sinners is really, really strong. Like I said, it's my favorite film of the year, closely followed by One Battle After Another in second place. So this is a year where I'm not going to be upset by who wins because I love One Battle After Another. I love Sinners. I even really enjoy Hamnet. So if they win, wouldn't it be like my favorite pick? but it's a very female-centric film, and I love the performance from Paul Mescal and Jacoby Jupe as well. So I'd be interested to see, this top three, what happens in the next couple weeks. I do have Marty Supreme, Sentimental Value in fourth and fifth place. I do think there's a possibility of switching Sentimental Value into fourth place, Marty Supreme into fifth place, just with, again, everything that's going on with Josh Safdie and Benny Safdie behind the scenes, with the news from Good Times and all that stuff that's been kind of circulating around right now. I'd be interested to see if the film starts to lower in the rankings for some people, some critics, some pundits. So I kind of have them interchangeable. We have Frankenstein, The Secret Agent, a film I think it could keep rising, Train Dreams, F1, I have higher up because they have more nominations and I think a higher chance of winning compared to Begonia, which I have in 10th place. I just don't think Begonia's has any chance of winning, hasn't won anything this award season so far compared to F1 and Train Dreams, both being very big films in the guilds and being awarded nominations so far in the awards season. So I'm pretty solid with my top 10 best picture order. Like I said, we kind of talked about one battle after another Sinners throughout this entire video and the competition and how they are just coming neck and neck, honestly. I do think one battle after another is still higher, still more highly favored. I think it's a little bit more auteur, a little bit more, I wouldn't say highbrow necessarily because I do think Sinners is quite highbrow, but it does have that more sci-fi action fantastical element to it with the vampire and um action scenes in it, but we do have a lot of action scenes in one battle after another. So yeah, it's interesting to compare. I think both films have a lot to say about culture, about the time we're living in, even though Sinners is a blast in the past, kind of a period piece. I think basically everything that's being said in that film can directly be tied into the narrative right now. And basically, not a lot has changed. So, very, very interesting, all these films. I am so excited for the next couple weeks with the award season and just how hot it's getting with SAG, with BAFTA, just, right around the corner. And those wins are going to be very, very influential for the wins here at the Academy Awards. Again, thank you guys so much for sticking around with me to the very end of this video. If you guys did, I would love to see a little, maybe like yellow heart in the comments down below. If you guys stuck to the very end of this video, comment a yellow heart down below and I'll know you guys are a trooper and you stayed to the very end of the video. But I appreciate you guys watching my Oscars 2026 prediction video for February. Hopefully, I'll get maybe one or two more out before we get to the Oscars. I would like to get at least maybe like one more updated one, maybe a week or two before the Oscars, because I definitely do think things will change. This is the first week of February, it's only the 3rd. So month and a half left and the Oscars are flipping here. So it's crazy how this season has just flown by. So thank you guys for sticking around with me. If you guys want to support the channel, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button and also the post notification button so you get alerted every time I post videos. I post a lot of different types of award video, or reacting to the nominations, reacting to wins. I also kind of do these prediction videos, I'm also doing pop culture videos, like I'm going to do a Marty Supreme marketing masterpiece or misfire video, and that should be coming out in the next couple weeks. I'm also do film reviews. I have a couple of those on my channel already, and more will be coming out soon. The Moment, Charlie XCX movie is going to be coming out this weekend, so I'm hoping to have a chance to see it. And quite other film, still have to see Sent Help. Like, I have a lot of films I still have to see. I mentioned all the different films that are nominated I still haven't watched. So obviously I have a really big watch list, even TV. Like I'm so busy right now, so there should be lots of content coming out in the next couple weeks. So make sure you have the post notification button turned on so you always get notified when I post. Make sure you give this video a like if you guys enjoyed it, and also comment down below some of your predictions. I always like having a discussion with you guys in the comments. All of this interaction really does help my channel to grow and push me out in the algorithm to other like-minded people. So thank you guys so much for the engagement. While you're at it, I'm also on all the other social platforms. So make sure you guys find me on Letterboxd, Instagram, TikTok, and the Awards Expert app. Give me a follow, Willow D. Steele, on all of those platforms. Thank you guys so much for supporting me. I am trying to be more active on every single social media platform this year. It's one of my goals for 2026. So thank you guys for engaging. Really shows me that, my passion, this creation, and, what I am loving to do here on my different social media platforms is also something you guys are interested in. So thank you guys for commenting, engaging. I'm very appreciative of that. So thank you guys so much for watching my Oscars 2026 prediction video as of right now. I will see you guys in my next video, and until then, keep getting lost in film. Bye.